Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer and today we are taking a look at Yogi. Yogi is a 64-bit Trojan which was actually built in Python, and as a result, this malware is unfathomably large. Most malware these days is like up to 2 megabytes and this is 13.6 because it's built in a high-level programming language. If we go over to take a look at it in VirusTotal, we can see it has 28 out of 69 detections. The tags are portable executable, 64 bits, and overlay. If we come down here to detection, we can see that our two usual suspects, Bitdefender and Kaspersky, do both have signatures for this, as well as Google. Microsoft does have that usual generic detection for Trojans. BCAF Pro. Are there any big names that don't have one? Avira doesn't have a detection for it yet. McAfee doesn't. That shouldn't shock anybody. Symantec doesn't. Again, go figure. And I'm not seeing any other big names, really. If we come over to details, here's your MD5, SHA-1, and SHA-256. YouTube terminated my channel for putting these in the description and tags. So you'll have to just type it in manually if you want to follow along. Creation time, it says was today. And usually I say not to go along with these because you can very easily fake the creation time. But in this case, I'm willing to believe it. So it looks like the creation was just an hour and a half ago. And the names it's been uploaded under are down here. And if we go to relations, we can see that it has 27 dropped files. But as of right now, it doesn't actually have any detected C2 server. I will be able to find it, but I'm just showing VirusTotal doesn't have it detected yet. Behavior, we will be coming back to this, but as of right now, it has 3 medium, 17 low, and 19 info MITRE signatures, and 5 medium and 2 low Sigma rules. No IDS rules on this one. And finally, at community, Nike Analytics has given it a negative point. Hygor1 has reviewed it and given it all these capabilities and names. Joe Security has been here. And of course, Nike Analytics has commented as well. We'll go ahead and minimize this. We'll show the tools that we'll be using for this video. We have Process Monitor, which I'll go ahead and resume. Wireshark, which I'll go ahead and get on Ethernet 0. System Informer, which is already ready to go, except for minimizing Firefox. And Zooey. Last but not least, let's take a look at the properties for this file. So we have details, absolutely no details to speak of. And of course, I did share the file size already. So we will go ahead and pull up System Informer, and without any further ado, let's run some malware. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Sure, why not? We click yes, and it gives this fake error message, and it says error loading modwin.dll aborted. Now, it won't actually start its payload, surprisingly enough, until you click OK. So as you can see, it's not showing anything other than its own file, which isn't using much CPU or memory at all. But as soon as we click OK, it actually starts pulling up a bunch of command prompt windows and PowerShell windows. So if you actually just Alt F4 out of that error message, it probably wouldn't do anything to you at all. And it's going to continue this routine for a little bit. I'd say about 30 seconds or so, opening and closing command prompts and PowerShells to do multiple things on your computer, and then it closes on its own. So this is an info stealer. It's not a rat. It will not pop up again once we restart the computer. So if we pull up Process Monitor, we're going to do two filters. The first filter is going to be process name is yogi.exe, and the second one is going to be operation is create file. And we will go ahead and click apply. And we have 634 events. Now, if we come over to Wireshark, we can see that during the time it was running, it actually pulled up a bunch of pings to a 40.116.110.236. And we can see encrypted handshake messages and change cipher specializations and all sorts of things like that. We also have connections to this 13.91.222.61. There could be something there, but I don't believe so. We'll go ahead and minimize this, and we will take a look through our system internals. So we're going to go ahead and expand path so we can see the whole thing. And immediately we should start seeing some things right off the bat. It does look like it called its own program, but as you can see, it's doing a lot of things in the temp directory, with some custom DLLs, VC runtime 140.dll, a copy of VC runtime 140. That's probably a bug in the program. We also have a bz2.pyd, which is Python, C types, decimal, hash library, LZMA, socket, unique user ID, WMI, base library, which is actually a zip. It's probably being used by Python, campus.py, and we also have some JavaScript here as well. But if we keep going down, we're going to see one more suspicious thing. I think it's pretty far down here. The rest of this can be ignored. There's one thing, I think it's in the local videos directory. I'm not seeing it yet. We do also have a connection through SSL. As you can see, it does have a config file for OpenSSL, but unfortunately, if we try to jump to it directly, it's no longer going to be there. So we are going to go to Program Files, Common Files, and it should be in here. But as you can see, SSL is not here, and we do have hidden items enabled. So unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to see what it did there. And as you can see here, we have Caxiriza. This is actually the same file name that it used last time. Unfortunately, it did do a pretty good job of covering its tracks, so we're not entirely sure what this is doing. But yeah, there you go. We also have a Shell 32 in the desktop, which is unfortunately no longer here. It may take us to desktop. No, it doesn't even do that. But as you can see, we have no other programs here. And since hidden files is enabled, it does look like that file has been removed. Which if the malware leaves traces on your desktop, that's pretty bad. But I do believe that's the last thing to actually take a look at. It called that Caxiriza file again, but we don't actually get to see what it did with it. It's not an executable or an MSI or anything like that, so I can't just shove it through Process Monitor, because it's probably being used as a dependency, not a standalone executable. So unfortunately, there's just not anything to do with that. But as you can see, we don't have any traces to the startup directory or for it trying to make a new startup command. And if we go to Task Manager, I mean, this is really easy to hide, even if it did put it in here, but we don't see any trace in here either. And we do see hash library, everything that it was calling before and closing out. We do also have some text files, but again, if we try to jump there, those files no longer exist. We do also have PyArmor, Runtime, and Python 3.13 as well. So we'll go ahead and close Process Monitor. We're going to go to Wireshark, and we are going to go ahead and save this. So we'll stop the packet capture. We'll save it as 1.pcap, and we will go to Zooey. And we are going to shove this in here. We're going to do import data, documents, and 1.pcapng. Now, while it's doing that, we are going to do something new that we haven't done on this channel before, and we are going to reference the behavior section. We're going to take a look at all of the most important MITRE signatures to show what it's doing, and in this case, there's only really one that we want to take a look at. There is this data destruction as well, so that might call out to some people who think that, oh, data destruction sounds bad. But what it's doing in this case is data destruction is used whenever it detects that malware has deleted anything on your computer. In this case, what it's doing is it's only deleting files that it has put on your computer for dependencies and executables. So basically, whenever you run the malware and it drops files that it needs to continue doing what it needs to do, it deletes those files so you can't discover them in the future. That's data destruction. And that's why it's flagged with a low, because it's not actually deleting any of your data. It's only deleting the files that it drops. The one that we're going to take a look at here, though, is this medium query registry. And if you want to see what query registry is, adversaries may interact with a Windows registry to gather information about the system, configuration, and installed software. The registry contains a significant amount of information about the operating system, configuration, software, and security. Information can easily be queried using the reg utility, though other means to access the registry exist. Some of the information may help adversaries to further their operation within a network. Adversaries may use the information from query registry during automated discovery to shape follow-on behaviors, including whether or not the adversary fully infects the target and or attempts specific actions. Now, that's a whole lot of yap. What does that mean? Basically, have you ever used regedit? We've done this before on the channel, but if you've never used regedit, you can just go and search and type regedit, hit enter, and it'll pull up all the super scary, spoopy files that you definitely don't want to touch. Basically, the malware can automate this. If there's anything it needs to disable, like Windows Defender or anything like that, so that it continues without being stopped by your antivirus, that's how it would do it, through your registry editor, regedit. But we'll go ahead and minimize this. Zooey should be done by now. And we'll go ahead and query the pool. I won't spend too much time on this. It's only 103 local rows, and there shouldn't be anything that really jumps out to us. There is one notice, but it's an invalid certificate for Microsoft themselves, because for some reason, for their backup servers, they just don't verify their certificates. I have no idea why. It's been like this for years, but that's all it is. So that's going to be the end of this video. Not really a lot to look at, but I feel like this was a good starter for the new kinds of videos that we're doing with malware reviews. Obviously, my face is here, and we did show some new analysis through behavior and the MITRE ATT&CK section. We did use System Informer. We saw what it was doing with System Informer. Wasn't very visually appealing, but we did take a look at that. And we saw that weird video file that was there as well. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this one. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. I'm Larry. You guys are amazing. I'll see you in the next one.